Radio Raheem with Demetrius Andrade, ringside for Canelo Saunders. I know a ringside seat is one of the most coveted things in boxing, but you'd have traded that in a second for a corner seat facing either one of these guys. What did you make of the fight tonight?
I mean, it was good for boxing. Two champions going at it, putting the belts on the line, and Canelo came out on top. It was good for the weight class. As far as as the fight goes, for me watching it, I thought Billy Joe already from the game plan wasn't going to really beat Canelo because his style and his defense really ain't there. He didn't step up. I thought in training camp they would have been working on his defense more. Technical foundation, especially with a guy like Canelo, where he's been in the ring with Triple G, so his defense is going to be a little tighter. He knows how to get in the inside and work in there, and he's comfortable in there. To be in there with somebody like Triple G in his last two fights, well, not last two fights, but it's two fights with Triple G, and for Billy Joe not to make any adjustments, and he just kept doing the amateur shit. He kept leaning down, and all night Canelo was just waiting with the same shot and ended up catching him.
Were you sitting there thinking of what you would have done were you facing Canelo and seeing any kind of game plan you could put together to get that victory if you get that opponent?
Yeah, for sure. I do that with all the fights. Even Billy Joe, looking at him, what would I do? Looking at Billy Joe, looking at Triple G, looking at Charlo, you know what I'm saying? All of them. That's just how we fight. That's how we look at fights.
Tonight, many people said that Canelo was invincible. And we know in boxing that any man can be beat. But right now, Canelo looks unbeatable. How do you beat him?
I mean, by putting Demetrius Andrade in the ring with him. That's the only way, At the end of the day, not to disrespect anybody else in this game because this game is rough, it's tough, and it's not easy. Billy Joe ain't going to do it. And, I like Caleb Plant. I think he does have the heart of a lion, and I think he can, do great things in boxing, but I don't think he's the guy to beat him either right now.
Well, he's the only guy they mentioned in the ring. The guy who's supposed to be putting fights together for you is right outside the door and was standing in the middle of the ring when they were talking about Caleb Plant. How do you put pressure on Eddie Hearn to make you the next guy?
That's a question that we all have. How do we get in there with Canelo? At the end of the day, Canelo has to want to do it.
A lot of people online are critical of any fighter that stops on the stool or doesn't answer the bell, but it has been reported that Billy Joe Saunders has a legitimate fracture in his orbital bone. As a fighter, can you assess whether or not that's the kind of injury you can continue fighting with?
I don't know. I'm tall, black, and handsome, and I never had that problem, and so I can't, judge other people. If it's not in him to continue, then it's not in him to continue. If it is in him to continue, then they're going to continue. And I don't know how. I really pay attention if the doctor stopped it or not. But hey, a dog is a dog, and if he's not, then he's not a dog.
And lastly, if Canelo...
What's he going to win afterwards? You know what I'm saying? You going to keep taking damage for what? I mean, I don't know. That's how their corner thought about it. And they were just like...
And lastly, Canelo makes his own decisions. Nobody tells him what to do. What would you say to him to make him understand that he needs to face you and nobody else first?
Yo, grow some cojones, man. You want to be the best, fight the guy that nobody really wants to fight, and that's me. Everybody else is kind of easy pickings for you. Fight somebody that's going to give you a real deal, real challenge, and I'm undefeated, 30-0. I've been in the game for a long time, so what's the... And if you can beat me, why don't you come beat me like you beat everybody else? Take what I have.
Well, if that's the case, I'll be ringside for that show, just like I was ringside tonight. Radio Raheem with Demetrius Andrade. Always a pleasure, sir.
Definitely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
Yes, sir.